Hello, everyone. I'm Colin Tessier of Wrestling.com, joined by Bill Pritchard to talk about what has already been a very wild week. Bill, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Waiting for the other shoe to drop in a lot of ways. Obviously, after All Out on Sunday night, the AEW World Champion CM Punk went off at the media scrum, talked about his relationship with Colt Cabana, took some shots at Hangman Page and the EVPs, presumably the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Afterwards, shortly thereafter, got into reportedly a physical confrontation with the Young Bucks and Omega was there. Details have been kind of fuzzy. There's been stuff coming out all week long. Ace Steel reportedly bit Kenny Omega. Ace Steel has been in the headlines all week long, which is probably not something anybody could have predicted a week ago. But he reportedly bit Omega, threw a chair, the hit. One of the Young Bucks gave him black eye, and now we're still kind of waiting for the full range of the consequences to become clear. Reportedly, most of the people involved will be suspended. CM Punk's status is still, this is the latest report, this is still waiting to be determined, possibly with legal ramifications. That remains pretty unclear. Lots of stuff up in there, but overall, Bill, what do you think about kind of the general situation at this point?
So, I mean, going back to Sunday, I think obviously nobody expected the scrum, and then it was like, oh, okay, it's like this little comment, and then it was like, no, he had clearly had a lot more to say than just a little quick remark, and I mean, it's definitely. I can't think of anything crazier that I've ever covered, and I've
Nope.
been doing this for a very long time. I won't say too much, but you and I both were kind of tipped off the other day about before the report about the fight came out. Somebody shared with us, "Hey, here's what I heard happened," and we were like, just kind of like, "Nah, that's ridiculous. Like that didn't happen." And then a lot more than that, plus a lot more came out, and it was like, "Oh man, this, it's not a work. It's a very real situation. We still don't really know what's going on," which I guess I understand because it seems like it's going to be a legal issue, or it's not just going to be like, okay, you guys fought, make up, go to work. So I think everybody can agree that there was a fight. We don't know who started it, who swung first, who hit, made contact first. So I thought honestly that there would be something out by now, like concrete, or maybe the company saying something, but uh I don't know. I don't know if it's better or worse for them to wait until Dynamite tonight. Like that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Do you think, I'm not trying to be a cynic, but do you think there's any part of it that's kind of a ratings ploy where like there's that inherent curiosity on behalf of the viewer of, oh, what are they going to do? Because now at this point, it is, past 3 o'clock as we're recording, they're going to have to say something presumably early on in the show. Because, I mean, even the control center for the show, the preview for the show, CM Punk wasn't on the graphic, even though he just won a world title. The Young Bucks and Omega, not on the graphic at all. So reportedly, if the latest update is true, which we have reason to believe it is, Omega and the Bucks probably suspended at this point. Again, Punk status pretty unclear, but fair to assume there's he's probably not going to be on the show. Who even knows? But I do feel like that might be a reason. Tony Khan was not on Busted Open today on Wednesday, which he usually is, to talk about Dynamite and everything, especially after the pay-per-view. In a normal world, you would think he would be, but obviously with all the stuff going on, he opted not to. And now we're writing it a Dynamite. Nobody knows what's going on, and I think Dave Meltzer just tweeted like an hour or two ago. They're probably going to address it to some capacity. Titles are involved, and nobody knows exactly how they're going to handle it. But I do think there's that inherent curiosity, and not just that's why they're doing it, but I think that's one reason they could kind of not stand a game for you know what I mean.
I think we've been all conditioned to a certain point to think that it's a ratings ploy. At the same time, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and it's just I think there's a lot to work out. I'm assuming that people either, like Monday and Tuesday already went home, traveled to the next city or whatever. So it's, not everybody's there to sort of deal with it head on. I'm sure, they said, all right, break it up Sunday, tried to sort it out. Maybe something's going on in where's it? Buffalo. Albany's next week. All right. So yeah, Buffalo tonight. I mean, I didn't expect. I would hope that Tony didn't go on Busted Open today. I mean, it was kind of surprising that Dave wasn't there. I don't really know why. I didn't catch if they addressed that or not. I know it was just for the most part Mickey and Tony today. Mickey and Tommy that handled the show, but I feel like even if they open the show and have like Excalibur and the commentary team just kind of address something, like I don't need this big long in-ring segment. I know people are saying Max Caster, like watch out what he's gonna say. MJF's gonna have a mic. Like I don't, if you've learned anything from the past few days, I don't think that using it on air in that way is the right way to go, because clearly that set Punk off in the first place. I would just say, here's the situation. They are whatever it is, like they're suspended. They, just, I would address why they're not there. Don't make a huge deal about it and try to salvage what you can out of a show. The next show off of a pay-per-view, you still have to build your TV.
Right. I would agree. I hope ideally pretty much once the show starts, I'd want some kind of, even just a very quick, brief announcement, like you said, from Excalibur, the broadcast team, because it is world champion. It is the Young Bucks guys, again, just won the titles on Sunday. Some of the top stars in the company, and you can't exactly hide this. Obviously, I was seeing some tweets before we went on the air, and people, someone said a lot of the portion of the AEW audience doesn't really know about what's going on. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I would say most of the AEW audience does kind of keep up with, at least to this, something like this, right? This isn't like some small thing that happened. This is a huge story. I would say it's safe to assume most people have some general understanding that something's going on, something pretty crazy is happening here. So I would hope we get some kind of, if not resolution, obviously that's way too soon in the game for that, but some kind of, announcement to some degree, just about what's going on. But yeah, even with that, it's very unclear how it's all going to continue to unfold. Not trying to dive into speculation, but because no one really knows, because again, the very big stakes here. You've got Omega and the Young Bucks on one side, you've got CM Punk on the other side. Do you see a best case scenario here? What do you think would be ideal to have the outcome be? Because at this point, it's very clear there's a pretty serious problem, and something's going to need to happen to kind of, as you said, salvage the show, but kind of move forward here. It's we're talking pretty major issues between your top star in the company and three of the guys that helped build the company in the first place. That's a pretty kind of foundational issue. And I talk about potentially the locker room and that being divided as well. It's a mess.
I mean, I don't really know if I can even say best or worst case scenario, because it seems very fluid, but I think maybe Tony's trying to figure out if there's something to salvage. I mean, I don't think firing everybody is the answer. I don't know if firing anybody is the answer, but at the very least, you hand out the suspensions, let people stay home, and try to see what you can salvage. If they can't put this aside, and I mean, you hear rumors and speculation all the time. So, I mean, if you can't work, it's the right way to put it. I don't know. You have to be able to work and rise above that. I'm not trying to sound so preachy, but that's always been the wrestling business. You can't really blame people leaking stuff. You can't really blame news sites. And, that seems like a personal issue to deal with. That doesn't seem like I don't know. It's so hard to pinpoint what to do.
Yeah.
But I think the first step is, suspend the people involved, address it quickly, and just kind of let the fans know, here's what's going on. Here's the show that you can expect while, these people are suspended or while these people are gone. And, I guess try to salvage the people that are there and then see if you can work in the suspended people when they come back, I guess is the best way to look at it.
And in the wrestling fans, media, whatever you want to say, in the wrestling world, we collectively are always talking about AEW has such a loaded roster. So not to say that like, oh, they'll be totally fine if Punk and the Young Bucks are suspended for who even knows how long, but like they have a very deep roster. So like as you said, they could at least have a strong enough lineup to like keep it going here, whatever that means in the interim. It's interesting. I mean, Tony Khan multiple times last week said, "Oh, not everyone needs to be friends in the wrestling world, right?" Like even then, that was before all that. That was even just with Sammy Guevara, Eddie Kingston, some of the reports of tension even back then. It's kind of interesting to have have that age now, obviously with what's happened. But I agree.
You kind of saw the report earlier, like you're talking about the roster depth. I think it was Dave Meltzer that said Jericho and John Moxley got called in for the show. They weren't originally scheduled. I don't know what Moxley's going to be doing on the show, but they're already advertising Chris Jericho addressing the AEW Galaxy. So there's that sports entertainment thing, and he, to be fair, he did say that he wasn't going to be in Daniel Garcia's corner. So maybe, I don't know if it affects that. Maybe they just, literally keep him separate and show Jericho like staying in the back. I don't know how that plays out. I think, I don't know. I think maybe Jericho gets more of a featured role because he is a veteran. He's proven himself. Moxley's shown, before he went on hiatus for his own issues, and since he's come back, that he's dependable. He was the champion. He carried the interim title for a while. So I think, like you said, having depth, having guys like that, they can carry them through whatever this is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, this is live right now. Dave Meltzer just reported that the Punk reportedly got injured during the match. That there's been some rumors that was during the skirmish, but just now he reported that Punk's believed to be injured, said to be serious. The rumors hadn't been confirmed. He says it's been confirmed to him. No matter what happens with the discipline and stuff, the title situation, quote unquote, has to be changed and addressed tonight. So that is pretty
big.
Another big thing on top of this is that there had been a rumor about some sort of injury right when the news of the skirmish happened, and now if it's out to be serious, that changes things. Now I've been diving into the discipline side, the legal side, who even knows, but even just more so strictly the product, what we're going to see on the show. He's the world champion. He just won the show, and it's unfortunate, especially depending how serious it is. They just had Punk was gone. He had Moxley in the interim title. He had a good run with it. Then we had this. Moxley won the Undisputed Championship by beating Punk. Punk beats him on Sunday. Now if Punk's hurt, like it's just a very messy time here, and that's unfortunate. So obviously we'll provide more as we know. But that's I literally just saw that just now that came out.
I just saw that come up. I know people like nobody ever confirmed it. He didn't mention it during the scrum, but there were quite a few people that were saying like, I think he messed his elbow. Like he wasn't just selling it. That probably was the move that it did it. For some reason I thought it was an elbow drop, but somebody was saying like he looks like he's already banged up before any of this happened. So we have another title situation. I guess even more anticipation for 8 o'clock.
Just in a more general question, I've seen a lot of people like catastrophizing this kind of thing where it's all like doom and gloom about AEW. Like, do you think like They faced adversity before, but this is a pretty big like challenge. You know, depending, we still have no idea how it's going to resolve. But again, even just alone from what we've already seen / what's been reported, the scrum comments, now it's confrontation. Like, you know, not to say like can AEW bounce back, but like, what do you think about kind of the general kind of perception of AEW at this point? Kind of the general, I don't know, the situation kind of moving forward here, kind of with that in mind. You know.
They've had problems before, never on this scale. You know, they've been resilient in the fact that they've gotten over a bunch of stuff. You know, Tony just was talking about, and we've brought this up, you know, about the roster is going to be the strongest it's been in however long. And I think he said that on like Wednesday or Thursday. And now look at what's going on. And, you know, it seems kind of like a snake bit in a way, but they need to do something about this, or else it's going to set a tone, and it's probably going to set the wrong tone. Like, again, I don't know if firing people's the right answer, but you know, you have people in an authority position doing that, whether they're talent or not. They're still supposedly, you know, EVPs, whatever that means for them, but they're still in that position. They shouldn't be acting like that. And then, you know, you have Punk and Ace Steel, who, whether they swung first or used the chair or bit, like that's what's out there. Like that also can't stand. And then you also have to look at Eddie Kingston just served a suspension, and apparently all he did was either, you know, pie face Sammy Guevara or pushed him. He still served a few weeks suspension, and that was it. That wasn't like a legit 6-minute fight that had to be broken up, that, you know, 7 people were involved in total. So I think you need to set the right tone and sort of, you saw this a few years ago, like with the NFL, where, you know, they were like, okay, you're getting suspended 4 games for, you know, something off the field, but then somebody got suspended even more for like marijuana, and it was like there was no balance. Like, I think if you're suspending Eddie Kingston for that, they need to go at least 30 days, like maybe more, depending.
Yeah, Eddie was out for a couple of weeks now. Like you said, that was,
I think it was
like
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
that was a pie facing thing. Well, this is a whole other level.
Fight.
So yeah, so I agree. There definitely needs to be some kind of scale, or like, you know, some way to kind of make it clear, like that there's a difference there, right? That's not like one size fits all. Is like 2 weeks for this, whereas Eddie got 2 weeks for, again, something relatively much more minor. Got to think that, yeah, it's probably going to be more substantial. And who even knows right now? Don't want to dig into like speculation, because there's just no way to know at this point. Bill, I know, like you said, you got to probably get going soon, but definitely more reason to tune in to Dynamite no matter what happens. Hopefully it all works out for the best. Nando says AEW will be all right. Wrestling has been this way since the beginning. I mean, again, to borrow from what Tony Khan said, like, it is wrestling, and again, not to advocate for what we're seeing or has happened, but you know, it is wrestling. It, you know, there are egos involved, and not to say, again, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but like, you can kind of expect that people aren't going to like each other. People are going to have problems with each other. When stuff like this happens, it's important to make it clear that that's not okay. But at the same time, like, to act like this is like so crazy, oh my gosh, it's never happened. To me, that's also like not entirely accurate, because, you know, it is wrestling, and there's stuff like that. But yeah, we'll have coverage for AEW Dynamite tonight. I'll be doing play-by-play. We'll have the news coverage as well. We'll keep providing more information as it becomes available. We try to, you know, be reliable with what we're putting out there, because there are a lot of rumors and stuff that gets out there. We try to, you know, provide stuff that's pretty, you know, pretty reliable, pretty set in terms of just trying to give you all good information. So as it becomes available, we'll provide more. But like I said, we'll have coverage for Dynamite. Bill, thank you so much for joining me today. And we'll, again, continue to monitor this very, very crazy situation, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Thanks for listening, everybody.